you. No one needs to see Minotaur junk. No, this looks like a place where you bury bodies. Mm-mm. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with a brand new show. I've been looking forward to this show for a very long time. It is based on a book series that I am also in love with, and it is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. It is finally here at long last. It's crazy that this project was announced, I think, almost 2 years ago, but we're finally here. I love the casting. I've seen some of the interviews with the cast. They seem great, and I did watch the trailer. It's here on the channel. If you haven't seen it, I will probably link it somewhere up above or below. But anyway, I'm very much looking forward to this show because the books, I'm a huge Rick Riordan fan. I love Greek mythology, and I love the way that he incorporated this idea of Greek mythology in today's world, as well as building in things about real life, for example, neurodivergency into his characters, and just kind of making it a very inclusive world in many ways. And yeah, Rick has been very enthusiastic about this series since it came about, and he said he feels like this is going to be the closest adaptation to his written work that has been done. And that's considering that there's been 3 movies done about this, that's saying a lot. So 3 or 2. I know 2 for sure, but I don't know why I think there might be 3. Anyways, point being, it says a lot that he feels really confident about this show. I always feel better when the creators or the writers of a certain type of material are excited about a adaptation of it to screen. So I definitely am very excited to get into this. If you're not familiar with Percy Jackson, definitely give it a look-see. But the overall premise of this show is that we're living in a modern day era where these Greek gods exist and they still have children with humans, and these humans, these kids, these demigods, basically live amongst men, and they go to a camp which is called Camp Half-Blood, where they get trained and learn how to basically use their godlike abilities, because they usually get some sort of special power that's associated with their god parents. That's basically the premise overall of this world. And then the books, there's a lot of books, basically go through different quests that Percy and his friends have got to go through for various reasons. And so I'm not sure. This season, I believe they said, is going to be covering the first book. My expectations are pretty high, and I feel like it's going to meet them. So I'm excited to jump into this new series. So enough talking from me. Let's jump in. But just before I do, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I do reactions here to all kinds of things, movies, TV shows, animes, all that good stuff. And if you would like to support me and join the family, I've just hit 10K and I'm hoping to hit 20K next year. So if you'd like to join the family and help support that dream, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you can be up to date for when I do reactions to this. And if you like this video, please leave some likes on it as well as some comments below. Let me know what you're thinking. All right, that out of the way, let's get into episode 1, which is called I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. That is a very long title. And also, I'm not sure if it's grammatically correct. But anyways, let's get into the first episode right about now.
If you think you might be one of us, my advice is
Don't
get
be.
away while you still can. Don't say I didn't warn you.
But bro, if you're warning me, that means I already know what I am. It's too late.
Bad grades, bullies, all the normal stuff. And then there's some other stuff.
Such as?
That's me, back in 2nd grade.
Yeah. Why
was
are
I
you up there?
I saw something. When you say you saw something like that, you wind up in this guy's office.
He's the school counselor?
I met Grover.
Aw.
We had a lot in common.
Wow.
You can almost believe they were imaginary. Weird, but
Thank you. No one needs to see Minotaur junk. Not appropriate.
Describe it, not just how it looks.
I do wonder what the world is like for people with dyslexia. I think it'd be so frustrating to not be able to read words properly, because I loved reading growing up. I couldn't imagine not being able to read easily. So kudos to those who are living with that and who've managed it.
Not everyone who looks like a hero is a hero.
True.
And not everyone who looks like a monster is a monster. I named you after him because when he was a very little boy, he and his mother were placed in a wooden chest and cast out into the sea by a very angry king. Brave the storm that was made to break us, for we are unbreakable as long as we have each other.
I mean, it's a beautiful message, but kind of a morbid story, Ma.
Mommy's here. Mr. Jackson.
Lame. I am for real.
And I believe you'll be needing this.
Pen is mightier than the sword.
About what drives that kind of bullying. Childhood trauma, feelings of inadequacy.
All the above.
You could make an appointment to see Mr. Kane. He's really good
I
about
was
talking
thinking
to you.
more like shoving Nancy in the nearest dumpster.
I mean, that'd be lovely, but if you push a girl, it's just not gonna go well for you, even if she really deserves it. Find a girl to do it, though.
There are better places out there.
Oops.
Percy?
He didn't even touch her.
Percy pushed me!
Mm-hmm. That's what ends up happening.
You are.
It's because he used his powers.
It was only a matter of time before we found you.
That was a sweet transition. Well done. And no one even notices?
Where is it?
It's a no. Well done.
Is he dead?
No, clearly not.
It's all right. Percy just needs a moment, that's all.
I don't understand. Didn't anyone just see that?
Right?
Where's Mrs. Dodds?
Who? She never existed. Let's not talk about it.
There's no one here by that name. All right, class, let's move along.
Mr. Jackson,
I am for real. Sorry.
yet you have offered no explanation for how she ended up in that fountain.
She tripped.
I didn't touch Nancy.
Period. That's the story and I'm sticking to it.
I didn't touch Nancy.
Exactly. Like, what more do you want from me?
Are you saying you saw Mr. Jackson assault Miss
Assault's a
Bobo?
big word.
Yes. I did.
Are you trying to get you kicked out of school? I mean, obviously, they also can't have anyone know that you used powers at school.
I saw what happened at the museum.
I didn't touch Nancy.
I know you think you didn't.
All right, yeah, technically he didn't physically touch her. He did technically push her in the fountain.
I suspect you are special.
What does that
So much
mean?
more so than you know.
Just stop.
Right? Can't be saying all this stuff and not actually giving explanations.
This is my ride. I'm going home.
Yancey Academy. So as I've said, I've read this book and many of the other ones, so I do know a lot of what's the premises of this show. So if you hear me talking ahead of things, that's the reason why.
Hey, I eat plenty of fruit. Have you considered eating more fruit?
Plumber. My guy said, you are plugged up. You're holding that plunger awfully close to the end, bro. I'd be holding that with rubber gloves.
Is my mom home from work?
Oh, is that all you gotta say to me?
Yes.
If you're gonna live under my roof, you gotta live by my rules.
Your roof? My mom is the only one employed here.
Ooh,
Excuse me?
T, get your butt up.
What does it look like I'm doing right now?
Literally nothing.
Losing at imaginary poker?
There's really nothing in the world that would let me marry that man and stay married to him. I know he serves a purpose, but he would have to do that, I don't know, unconscious.
It really wasn't my fault. It really wasn't my fault. I'm all wet now. I'm sorry. I'm just...
That's all he has to say. I'm all wet now.
Something happened to me. Something has been happening to me.
It's called puberty, sweetheart. We all go through it.
Done.
Percy and I are leaving for Montauk. I'll have the car back by Sunday
Whoa,
morning.
whoa, 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 whoa. Since when are you going to Montauk?
Since now,
To reserve the place as soon as I got off the phone with Yancey.
Who's Yancey?
the school, you jackass.
Make sure they put the hot peppers on my sandwich,
Not
please.
if you're gonna ask like that.
I said please.
Tone it down.
Please.
There.
Could you have them put the peppers on my sandwich?
You got it.
That. Mama can handle herself, Percy. Don't you worry.
We'll talk at the beach, okay? Pack your bag, let's go.
Percy's like, I really have no idea what just happened there. You should be mad at me. I tried to tell you that I'm losing my mind, and you're like, let's go on a trip. Must be nice to have these new age moms. Never in a Caribbean household.
So weak. So scared.
Not today, Satan, actually. Nope, this place looks creepy as hell, Mom. How about no?
Here.
No, this looks like a place where you bury bodies. Mm-mm. I said I'm sorry for getting kicked out of school, okay?
I need to talk to you about something.
Good for you, Percy.
I'm used to the world feeling weird to me. Like a puzzle with half the wrong pieces.
Good way to describe it.
It hasn't felt like daydreaming. It's felt
Dream walking.
Something that felt real to you, but no one else could see.
Exactly.
What did she say to you?
she.
I was about to say, how'd you know she was she?
How did you know it was a she?
Do you know why we come to this cabin every year?
Because it's near the septic
You're
tank.
trying to plan my...
From the moment I first saw him, I knew that
I was his.
I had never met a man like him before.
Down bad. Got it.
He wasn't a man at all. He was a god.
So, turns out crazy runs in our family. Thanks for letting me know, Mom. I'm just gonna go ahead and take some medication now.
Like Jesus?
The stories that I have told you about Greek gods and heroes and monsters, they are real.
Mom.
In those stories,
He's like, you're scaring me.
Mom, what's happening?
you are
She's trying to explain.
driven to harm them before they can become strong enough to fight back. That is what you have been feeling.
So what you're saying is that you really should have been a little more careful with Dad, or you should have told me this before.
I understand that I'm weird, believe me. I get it. But I'm afraid something may be really broken. You're telling me stories like it's gonna make it okay? No, I'm not a baby.
It's like, don't you patronize me.
You should have asked me before you... Whatever it is you're gonna say, I don't want to hear it.
I heard clonking.
Percy?
I heard clopping.
Grover! What? Grover, why is there half a goat in your pants?
But y'all don't have that?
Oh, boy, she didn't tell you about...
She was getting to it.
So the important thing is not to panic.
Back to this. He's taking that surprisingly well. I think if my best friend came in with goat pants, I would have a problem. I don't even think I'd be able to, like, stay conscious. I'm giving him props.
The mist kept her hidden even from us until it was too late.
Mist? What's a mist?
Camp is a sanctuary for half-bloods. A safe space where you can learn who you are and what the world is like on the other side of the mist.
Mom, what else haven't we talked about?
Well, where do I start? See, when you get older, your body's going to start going through change. Someone tells me they haven't had that talk yet.
He is next. He is brutal. He is relentless.
He's wearing underpants.
Thank God he's wearing underpants. Kudos to Mom. She is keeping it chill. But then when it comes to her baby, you know, mamas and their babies. R.I.P. to that driver. Jeez. Oh. She was doing so well.
Is everyone okay?
I mean, define okay. We just got attacked by a bull thing.
This way.
I mean, the only thing that made me happy about that is that her asshat husband's car got completely destroyed.
Percy will be safe on the other side.
Percy will be. But will all of us be safe?
I mean, they don't have any use for a human.
To protect my son, my only child.
Don't worry, Mrs. Jackson.
I am for it. Sorry.
I swear.
Maybe get going. Yeah, he's still there. Monsters, you know?
I can't go with you.
Why can't you?
She's human.
He's like, I'll see myself out.
No way. Mom, I'm not leaving you.
Perseus
Ooh, full name, you in trouble now.
Are not broken. You are singular.
Ooh.
You're a miracle.
I love these lines. Yeah, this is taking way too long.
We need to move.
But in fairness, I get it. Like, she dumped a lot on him in like less than 5 hours. You're a big boy. Okay, time to run. Time to run. Now, yes. No, not. Ole! Yes, see, in her other life, she could have been a conquistador. Sir, please do not make all this in vain. I'm gonna need you to run now, Percy. Grover's like, I'll just stay on the ground. That's a great shot, though. Damn. Yeehaw! Percy, you're in the perfect place to poke him in the eyes. Poke him in the eyes! Not bad. Not bad.
Welcome to camp, Percy Jackson.
Sir,
We've been expecting you.
there's a horse coming out of you. That was it? Wow, that did not feel like it was going to be the end. Oh, wait, hold on. I think there might be some more. Hold on. Previews. Okay, guys. Well, that was the first episode of the season, and I think it was a solid premiere for sure. As I mentioned, I've read the book, so there really was no surprises in this first episode for me. This actually is very reminiscent of the movie, the first movie that came out as well, kind of the approach that they took. But all of this is basically almost page for page out of what happens in the book for the first few chapters of the first book. Percy struggling, trying to figure out why he's dyslexic, why in the book they say that he's diagnosed with ADHD as well. They didn't really say that in this one, but they were alluding to his lack of focus and inability to stay focused on things. And I really like that they're kind of taking a little bit more of a modern approach to how Percy's perceiving it and also the way they're treating it, because as I said, you know, the books were written, oh gosh, I think the first book is around 15 years old now. It's been around for a minute. And point being that there's been a lot more research and understanding and knowledge around how these different neurodivergent diagnoses work and kind of the way that they're handled and treated. And I really like the fact that they're trying to be very up to date and sensitive and just understanding of what that is and making sure that that's portrayed in a way that's very inclusive and non-judgmental. But I like that nowadays they're really trying to be very understanding of the fact that there's a spectrum of people out there, and that just because someone's brain works slightly differently, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them, or just showing that they are able to still function and excel in this world, just maybe not the way that we think. And there were some great lines in this episode as well. Like, I love that line where Percy's mom looks at him and says, "You're not broken, you're singular, and you are," what you say, "You're singular and you're amazing," something along those lines. But yeah, I just really like that they, you know, she just said that just because you're different doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. And yeah, this episode is very much an introduction to Percy as a character. So if you have not read the books, I feel like this is a really good introduction to this world. I mean, we don't have a ton of information about the world yet, but we at least know now that Greek gods exist, demigods exist, half-bloods exist, that there are monsters in this world, and that there's a mist veil that covers these mystical creatures from the basic human eye from being able to see. So that's a lot of information, a decent amount of exposition, I think, because the episode wasn't very long. It was only 40 minutes long. So not even, actually. It's like 35 or so. So with that shorter of an episode, I think we still got enough to understand a bit about Percy. And then in this episode, we see that the beginnings of his powers are starting to show themselves, right? With the bully, she kept antagonizing him, and then he finally got upset, and then that height of emotion, he didn't touch her, but his abilities did, and because he was near water, she ended up in the fountain. So yeah, as they said, now that his powers are starting to peek through, the monsters are now aware that he exists, and it's not a safe place for demigods on the earth, because they're not as powerful when they're young, and you know, monsters and gods don't have exactly the best relationship in Greek mythology. Typically they are the victims at the hands of gods. So it's understandable that they start to hunt these kids, and Percy has been growing up in the world up until this point, and this camp has been there, which is on the other side of the veil, but he's not been part of that. So I'm sure as we go through the rest of the show, they're going to start explaining more about that. But I think it was, like I said, a really good introduction to Percy as a character, because he is going to be integral and the central point of this show going forward. But yeah, like if you haven't read the books and you have no idea what the show is about, I think it gives you a really good idea of who he is as a character, a little bit of his background. And now, of course, we're at the camp, so we're going to start getting more into that arc. Visually, looks really, really good. I can't see too much of the effects that were on Grover's legs. What little we saw looked pretty realistic, but everything was quite darkly lit. So I'm hoping that's not because the effects aren't good. It looks good overall though. I do like the way that they shot it. Miss Dodds, she looked really cool. The transition of her peeling off the human veneer and looking like her monster self, I think was done really well. So yeah. So far, high hopes. I enjoyed that episode a lot. Looking forward to meeting the third part of the trio. I'm very, very excited for Annabeth's character to enter the chat. But overall, I like this episode a lot. I think it's a good, solid start to this series. And I think that the character of Percy is being depicted really well as well. So what did you guys think of this first episode? I'm loving it. Please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate it if you showed some love to it with some thumbs up. And I will see you in the next video.